So what's going on with all these retrogrades in 2016?
You can be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star.
Hi, welcome to a new episode of Cosmic Common Sense. We have a bunch of planets changing gears, and so I've been asked by many of you to kind of explain what this means. So what is a retrograde? Well, it's actually an illusion. It's kind of like if you're sitting in a train and the one next to you starts moving, it feels like you're going backwards or looks like you're going backwards. That's what the illusion of a retrograde is like. So planets don't actually ever go backwards, and the sun and the moon never retrograde. But every year, a lot of them do, and sometimes we don't even notice, and other times we really feel it. Like Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year for about 3 weeks each time, and pretty much, that can cause chaos for a lot of people. And Mars goes retrograde about every 2 years, and that will slow things down to a degree. But sometimes we get a whole bunch of them all going retrograde at the same time for a little while. And that's always very interesting. So how does it feel to us? Well, Mercury rules our thought processes, our communication, our electronics. That's why they always say to back up your computer before a Mercury retrograde. And our mental process slows down and we feel a little bit backwards. And the real reason for that is that we're in an age where it's like not really cool to sit and reflect. I mean, it is, and some of you do great at that, and God bless you. But I'll tell you, for most of us, it's about multitasking and going all the time. And no matter what we're doing, we're being inundated with information from everywhere. So it gets confusing when things start to slow down a little bit and things start to go internal rather than external. And we start shifting that focus to ourselves and what's going on inside of us, which is what happens when any planet goes retrograde. The energy turns inward. So with Mercury, that would mean that we could miss things because we're kind of in this middle, the energy's still moving forward, things are still happening, but we can't quite keep up the way we typically do. We tend to make mistakes and not catch things because the fleet-footed messenger has lead weights on his wings. So being more mindful and more cautious of our interactions with others and communication is what is called for during any Mercury retrograde. Now, Mars is the planet of drive and action. It's what we fight for and what we're motivated by. When it goes retrograde, anger issues that are buried really deep can come to the surface, and frustration with others needs to be viewed from our perspective. So rather than what are they doing to piss me off, it's how can I realign myself here? Where am I at cross purposes with myself? And you'll find yourself going back over actions that you've taken and reviewing them. There's a push me, pull you energy to a Mars retrograde. It comes and then it bursts forward. With Mercury going retrograde as well in April, this can have us questioning everything that we're doing, everything that we're thinking, and then thinking of like these really brilliantly crazy ideas that we find out after a few weeks we're not even really interested in anymore. And then we add Saturn to the mix. And Saturn shows us where perseverance and hard work pays off. And it also gives us a chance to experience our own limitations. Jupiter retrograde in the mix brings us a reevaluation of our philosophies and our beliefs. Sometimes people can go through a crisis of faith during a Jupiter retrograde. We may see our self-esteem kind of blow up as in external form as exaggeration, over-promising and under-delivering. Or it may internalize as overthinking, over-processing, and then you've got that going on because of Mercury, and then Mars, things can't move forward, so you're looking at yourself again and what I can do, and oh boy. And then, as if that wasn't enough, we add Pluto to the mix. And all Pluto really wants is for us to get our crap together and get rid of the stuff that doesn't work for us anymore. And we do that by taking a good, honest look at ourselves. Not beating ourselves up, just taking a good, honest look. And revisiting old issues and just releasing, as I said, anything that's not working for you anymore. So wow, with all that going on, we have a summer of total transformation. All 5 of these planets will be in retrograde as of April 28th. Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto have been there for a while. So a lot of people are really feeling this already, and they're making huge shifts in their life. I personally know several people who are taking huge risks in their lives and stepping out into the unknown. They're looking really hard at their own fears and their own limitations, and they are bravely pushing forward. It's amazing. I'm so, so proud of them. And this is what it's all about. We get a chance to stop hiding behind victim mentality or claiming our victimhood if that's what we need to do. But really, during this period of time, we should all listen more and talk less. Do the best you can to avoid any kind of arguments, but don't be a doormat. And don't worry about trying to convince people that you're right. Just forget about it. Forget about it. But remember, be considerate of other people's feelings the way you'd want them to be considerate of yours. We're only here for a while, so why does it have to suck? This summer can suck a whole lot less if you just watch out for projecting your stuff and your junk onto others, because this is not a time where people are going to take it. It won't work anymore. If you've been doing life that way for a while, again, forget about it. It's not going to happen. So remember, what you're going through, other people are going through. So pick your battles. You have a choice. And let this period of time be about growth and completion, because retrogrades are great for completing things, finishing off things that you've been trying to get to. And next year is kind of like a rebirth for many of us. So why don't you just take this year and not start any new projects, not keep yourself too busy and too distracted from what you need to work on in yourself, and just complete all those things that you need to complete, work on stuff that's already been in progress. You can start some things during retrogrades, but they should be things that you've already had in progress. You can learn to love retrogrades as long as you're not trying to fight City Hall. It's a time to rest, reconnect, rework, rethink. Just don't push, 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 push. And honestly, this may not be the most comfortable time for everyone, especially if you've had a lot of junk that you've very successfully managed to avoid dealing with most of your life. But this is the time to face it and erase it. It is so worth it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Cosmic Common Sense. And you can send your questions to cosmiccommonsense@gmail.com, and I will answer them here on video. And subscribe to the channel while you're here so you'll know when I post these videos. And until next time, keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out. See ya.